Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming a Q&A. I asked you guys to ask me questions on Instagram and I got a lot of good ones. If your question doesn't get answered, it's most likely because I've already answered it before and I really want to keep these videos fresh and new with updated answers. I don't want to be repetitive. I have lots of Q&As on my channel that you can go back and watch if you think that maybe I've already answered a certain question that I haven't answered today. Okay, I just set a timer for 20 minutes and now I'm going to Instagram to my post to find the comments. Last time I set the timer for 30 minutes, but I'm setting it for 20 this time because I want to make sure that this isn't 45 minutes. I think my last Q&A was like 45 minutes long. It was crazy. My eyes are watering because I put my contacts back in just so that there wouldn't be a glare for the video. I know that they're like organized differently on everybody's page, but I'm just gonna go for me, like for which ones have, I really thought it was gonna organize these by which ones had the most likes, but like some of the ones that are up here on my top comments don't have any likes. So I'm just gonna go through and then based on, I guess if they have a lot of likes, that means a lot of people wanna hear the answer, but also just if I think it's a good question that you guys would wanna hear, I'll pick it as well. So I'm just gonna start scrolling from the top. Hillary Alex asked, what is your favorite part about being married and what's your least favorite part? So my favorite part about being married is having a support system and someone there for you around the clock. It sounds so cheesy, but when you are married and you have your partner, they are there for you no matter what, like day or night, around the clock, they're there for you and they're gonna be there for you in good times and bad, sickness and health, you know, the whole thing. I feel like that's really why people get married, is to have their life partner who's gonna be there for them, like their better half and the person they go to sleep with every night and wake up with every morning. And even though you get into those arguments sometimes and you can have some rocky patches, at the end of the day, if you're in a good marriage, you know, just like having that foundation and being each other's rock is so, there's nothing in the world better than that relationship, than the relationship that you have with your kids. My least favorite part about being married. I'm gonna have to think about this one for a second. I guess my least favorite part about being married is that sometimes you need some time just like for yourself, and you can feel guilty for wanting to take some time just to yourself, or like if you're trying to take a bath and just, you know, scroll Instagram or binge watch YouTube or something, and you know they're coming and asking a million questions every 2 seconds. Just not ever getting like complete alone time, especially after having kids. It's like hard that you ever have complete alone time. And I say that, but then in the same breath I hate it when Nick is gone. So it's kind of a weird thing. It's like a catch-22, because when he's gone, I'm sad, but then if he's around too much, I get annoyed. I think that's just typical though. Lauren Self Blogs asked, what is something Nick would say is something annoying that you do, and vice versa? Nick seems so laid back and like he just goes with the flow and never gets annoyed. Something that Nick would say that I do that's annoying is like ask a million questions and just like there's never any silence. Like if we're driving somewhere, I like have so many topics that I want to talk about, so many things that are on my mind that I want to talk about, and Nick just wants to zone out a lot of the time. So that kind of goes back to the last question. That's probably would be his thing about least everything about marriage as well, is that I'm just always like, I need to just calm down sometimes. I'm like talk too much, and a lot of men I feel like say like, you talk too much, just like stop talking for a little bit, you know? I don't know, that's Nick though. For me, she said, and vice versa. Something that Nick is annoying that Nick does. Hold on, let me think of it. Oh, okay, so this is something perfect example. If I bring something up to Nick that's stressing me out, if something is on Nick's mind that's stressing him out, he just doesn't want to talk about it. He wants to avoid it and act like it's not happening. The way he deals with any type of conflict or stress is just by ignoring and avoiding it. And I like to hit problems head on. So like I want to have a full conversation and like go into every little like spidered web of detail and like how do we get to the bottom of this, and like really just like, you know, dig in like as deep as we can on this situation, because I want to get this resolved, everything out on the table and resolved. Nick just likes to just bury himself in the sand and act like whatever the problem is isn't there. I hate that. Annette Agarwal said, did you sleep train your girls, or how good of sleepers were and are they? So I did sleep training with Skyla, and I talked about that in one of her updates. So I'm not going to go into depth on like how I did it, but I did do sleep training with Skyla, and it worked after, I think it was like 3 nights or something. I don't know, that video would have more info, but it didn't take very long with her. She really got the hang of it, and she was sleeping a lot less than Adeline is now whenever she was 1. But she used to go to sleep at 7, and then she would wake up sometimes at like, guys, sometimes it was like 4:30 or 5, or like, I felt like I remember when she was sleeping until 6, it was like a good day. Now Skyla goes to bed at 8 and wakes up around 7:30, and some days 8. It's crazy. She sleeps in sometimes. To me, that's sleeping in. Adeline goes to bed at 8 at the same time as Skyla, and she usually wakes up about 6:30 or 7, but some mornings she really surprises me and sleeps in a lot. So they both sleep through the night. I tried to do sleep training with Adeline. I did it a little bit, but it did not take very much effort with Adeline. Like when she would wake up in the middle of the night, she would whine a little bit, but then she could go back down. Some kids make themselves sick and like crying, and then they'll make themselves sick until you come in and get them. It's hard. Lynn Eats Pizza says, how did you lose your pregnancy weight with Adeline? You look amazing, and a huge congratulations on the pregnancy. So happy for y'all. Well, first of all, thank you. I lost my pregnancy weight with Adeline very fast because I was very strict with my diet and exercise for the most part. I did cheat and have like donut days, and but for the most part, I ate so well when I was pregnant with Adeline until the very end. But for the most part, I was just really, I had a trainer. I can link her below if you guys are interested. She actually not specializes in pregnancy, but pregnancy is something that she's really not knowledgeable about, and she can help train you throughout your pregnancy, which a lot of fitness trainers will not give you like a food guide during your pregnancy, and she will. And she also, actually, I did a fitness workout every single day. It was Tammy Hembro's pregnancy workout. And then on days when I didn't want to go in or I wanted to just stay home, I used Amber's resistance band program. Or sometimes I would use go in the basement and use Nick's weights. I did a variety of things during my pregnancy with Adeline, but I would go on runs and walks, and I was so active. And I don't remember how much I gained, but it was under 30 pounds, I'm pretty sure. It was just not very much. And so when I started breastfeeding, the weight just started to literally just melt. And I didn't really work out at all after Adeline. I tried to walk a couple times, but my diet and exercise after she was born, non-existent. So it was what I did during the pregnancy that helped me now. Summer615 said, when do y'all plan to build your forever home? So we were planning on doing it soon. We actually had an appointment with a realtor last Friday to go talk about lots that we could build on, or just looking at homes that are already built that we might want to buy. And that was supposed to be the Friday before Adeline's party. So I don't know if that was maybe 2 Fridays ago, I think. The Friday that we left for Dallas. I think it was November 30th. We had a appointment all set up with a realtor, Amanda's husband, with Waters International. He set us up, and she actually pulled a bunch of houses within what we were looking at, and we were gonna go meet with her and look at some houses and do all of that. Nick comes home the Thursday night before that, and he's like, hey, I bought into another company and we're gonna have to rent for another year. So we're renting right now. And the reason we're renting right now is because when we moved here, for one, Nick had to take out a huge business loan because he was buying into a company here in Austin. And then he just did it again for another company in Houston because they're expanding his company. And so it's just not the right time for us to build or buy. I was really sad because I was really excited, but it just didn't work out. So it's gonna have to be at least another year before we can start to build. But the other reason is because his income now versus 1 year or 2 years down the road is gonna be drastically different. So the house that we could afford now versus 1 to 2 years later, those are like two totally different houses. And so Nick said that it's just best for us to wait until we're at the best place we can be in so we can buy a house that we would ideally really want to stay in forever. So that's where we're at with that. Maria Holman said, will you guys find out the gender of baby number 3 or wait until birth? We're definitely going to find out. Nick wants to do a gender reveal, or I've been told that it's better to call it a sex reveal because you're just revealing the sex of the baby and not their gender, because gender is decided. So when we do our sex reveal, it's going to be, Nick wants to do a tannerite thing where he, it's like a box that you shoot from a far away distance and it explodes with this powder. I think it's called tannerite is what explodes. But you either put blue or pink powder, and then that's how you find out if it's a boy or girl. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna have Tara order the box or something. I'm gonna somehow get the information to Tara and have her order pink or blue so that Nick and I can find out together. And of course I'll film it. Samantha Fry says, I know this is an emotional question, but does Zell have separation anxiety? I swear my dog does, but I don't know how to help it. Just wondering how Zell does when you leave her at home for extended lengths of time. Zell has very bad separation anxiety, but we've started to give her CBD oil and it's really making a difference, like huge. I give her 2 drops in the morning on a piece of cheese and 2 drops at night. I was doing 1 drop in the morning and 1 drop at night, and it just wasn't enough. The 2 drops is like the sweet spot for her. But when we're out of town, we have a pet sitter. She's actually a vet tech and she stays here at the house with them. So she's here. Of course I ran out of space. It wouldn't be an Aaryn Williams video if I didn't run out of space. So what I was saying is that we have a vet tech that stays with her and stays with both of them. Stays with Zell and Duchess anytime we're out of town. She stays overnight and she stays with them like throughout, not all day, but she's with them throughout the day at different times and plays with them and takes them on, plays with Zell. Well, I guess she plays with Zell and Duchess, but she takes Zell on walks and, I mean, Zell loves her. She even lets Zell sleep in the bed with her, so I love her too. So that's what we do for Zell's anxiety. SJ Smart said, what was the harder transition for you? 0 kids to 1 or 1 to 2? That's a good question, and I feel like both transitions were super hard in their own way. Like Skyla, I remember I was so nervous and I had really bad postpartum anxiety. And so that was a really hard transition for me. Most people, like, newborns are so chill, and like after you've had one and you're like used to them, or if you have like a sibling that has a child, or if you've been around a newborn before, you were probably way more relaxed than I was when I had Skyla. I had never been around newborns, maybe a couple minutes here and there, but nothing prepared me for a baby. I'd never really even held a little baby for that long. Like the whole world of babies was new to me with Skyla. So it was a really hard, huge transition for me. With Adeline, it was definitely hard, but it feels like it wasn't as hard as it was with Skyla. And I just felt so much more confident. The hard thing with Adeline coming was taking them both out in public at the same time, because Skyla was and is a hard child. So adding a newborn onto that was really scary. And I had Adeline during flu season, and y'all know I'm crazy with all the germs. When you have like a newborn, you have to protect them from germs for as long as you can. That's just my opinion. And I did not want her to get sick. Like a newborn getting sick is like one of my biggest fears. And so that was hard, but mostly I was just scared about taking them out in public at the same time. But now I feel like, hey, like number 3 is gonna come and I'm just gonna be a boss at this. Like I do not have anxiety about having a third at all. It's crazy. Brooke Kearney 2018 said, have at any point pre-pregnancy, pregnancy, or postpartum, have you felt like Nick didn't enjoy or appreciate your body? Nick has always been so good about that. He's never made me feel ugly. There's only been one time, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute. He's never made me feel unattractive, undesirable, anything like that, other than one time in my life. And that's when I was in my 3rd trimester with Skyla. And I talked about this in another video, but I really think that the main reason was that it was the first time I had been pregnant. I had a massive belly in front of me. He probably just was weirded out by it and didn't really like, it just wasn't a very intimate time of our life because everything was just, it was weird to him. It was weird that I had this big baby in my belly. And I think that it's probably a common thing. I don't know, leave in the comments, but it's probably a common thing. But it did make me feel bad about myself for sure, because most other times in our relationship, he's, can't keep his hands off me and is very attracted to me. So that did throw me off big time. More of Sexy Lexi says, does Skyland know you're expecting another baby? How did she react? Are you going to do your family reacting? Okay, so Skyla, I don't think she understands that concept at all. I told her when I was pregnant last time that there was a baby in mommy's tummy, and she was saying for days, and actually weeks after that, even after I'd already had the miscarriage, she was still saying there's a baby in mommy's belly. So this time, I just haven't really said anything yet because one, she's only 2.5. So for one, if I did say that I don't think she really gets it, but for two, it's so early. I'm very optimistic. I have every belief in the world that this baby is gonna stick, but now I'm sensitive to saying that again because when she would say after I had the miscarriage and she'd be like, "Mommy has a baby in her tummy," it made me really sad. So I haven't tried to explain that to her. I told my mom over the phone and we told Nick's family over the phone. So we're not going to be doing a video reaction of that. Patty Power Perez says, what's your biggest mom fail moment that you look back on now and laugh? I've had a lot of mom fail moments, a lot. And I can't really think or pinpoint just one because there have been a lot, but I think my biggest mom fail, I'm just gonna give you what I think is my biggest downfall as a parent, just in general. I'm gonna make this a little bit deeper than your question, and I think my biggest mom fail is not being present in the moment. My life is a lot about social media because my job is being on social media. So I'm always reading comments and trying to respond and like them and interact. And once I'm either filming a video, editing it, or then I try for at least the first day or the first few hours to read comments and respond to some of them and like all the ones that I see. And it's a lot of social media: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and then my text messages. And I'm on my phone a lot, and I feel like my biggest mom fail, the thing that I'm gonna look back and regret a lot, not laugh, I won't laugh about this because this is deep. This will be my biggest regret in life, is looking back and realizing that I was so consumed by technology that I wasn't present in a lot of moments. And that's deep, and I don't mean to be depressing. Is something that I need to be better at. And I try to say I'm gonna be better at that, I'm gonna be better at that, and then I'm not. I get really wrapped up and sucked up into it, but that's my job. And I love you guys, and I love that this is my job. I'm seriously so beyond blessed. And I also, though, do have to remember the important things in life are not your job, and they're definitely not social media. It's your family. And as cheesy as that is, I've got to get it together with this. I've got to be more present. Okay, so the timer has been gone. I don't know why this happens. It was on for 20 minutes and it didn't even go off. Maybe it's because my phone is on silent, but it's definitely been 20 minutes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. There's so many questions on here. I didn't even scratch the surface of these questions, but I'm trying to make this Q&A thing at least a once a month deal. If it's been a month, if you guys see a month go by and I haven't done a Q&A, remind me, tweet me. I see Twitter is where I see the most, if you send me a tweet, usually I see those. In my other social medias, those can get buried, but if you just be like, Aaryn, it's been a month, let's do another Q&A, and I will make sure I do it because you guys love these and I love doing them. It's fun to film these. I like seeing y'all's questions and I think that they can be helpful. So if you like this, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure your bell notification is on and that you're subscribed. I get so tongue twisted in that because I do that almost every day and it just gets so repetitive. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.